Jake's a job me because he fucking spoke for 42 minutes because this video was so long. Whoa!
Hi guys, it's Jake here filling in for BuddyFightGlasgow, and today I'm bringing you guys my Thunder Empire deck list that got me third in this year's BuddyFight Spring Circuit in the UK. And just before we get into this video, I just want to say a massive shout out to the guys over at BuddyFightGlasgow, because if it weren't for them, obviously I wouldn't be able to show you guys my deck list. Probably be able to talk about my matchups later as well, because you know everyone loves that part. And make sure as well to leave a like for them down below. It will really help them guys out. And you know, leave comments. See if you guys want me around more often. You probably don't. That's fine. I won't be hurt. It's okay. It's fine. It's fine. It's okay. It's okay. If you wanna be hateful, be hateful. Anyway, let's just get into the deck list now though. And obviously we have the Dragon Lord flag here. And we also have our buddy. We have Misfiring Demon Globes. He is a 3/1/1, size 1. And he has its ability is Split the Reward. When another Thunder Empire monster enters your field, puts that card of your deck into your gauge, and draw a card. Split the Reward only activates once per turn, and when this card attacks this turn, a card in your field gets critical +1. So the fact that he's size 1 makes him really good, because you're probably going to play him most often, and for beginners watching this, you want to be buddying the card that you play most often, because well, you know, you need to get the extra life. For the buddy gift is actually a lot more clutch than what people expect, because you know people don't think of it as such a main mechanic in the game. But honestly, the amount of times where that one life gain has saved me during this matchups, looking back on it now, it's actually huge. So make sure you run a card that you are happy enough to be calling against every sort of matchup. So in this case for me, it was gloves, and I'll just get into the rest of the deck profile now. So for size 3s, we only ran the one, and that was Super Sun Dragon Battle Soleil. Nice buddy rare of it. And so here we go. Size 3, 7/7, and his ability, pay to gauge, and put a monster from your field into the soul of this card. And if there's one or more cards in this card's soul, this card gets critical +1, and if you will be dealt damage, that damage is reduced by 1. And counter right, you may pay 1 gauge if you do destroy a monster in your opponent's center. And he also has double attack and soul guard. Now, the reason why we ran this one is because it was the main counter to the decks that countered Thunder Empire. So you're looking really at your Zodiacs and your Jaeger matchups, because they were the matchups that really made me struggle. So this was a card where its ability to reduce damage by 1 if it has more than 1 soul makes it a target in itself, which requires your opponent to attack this. So you probably call it to the left or right. You never really call it to the center that much, unless you needed to and you really bricked and didn't get any shields or something like that. So being able to have an extra crit as well, so having free crit and double attack. So that means Battle Soleil itself is swinging for 6. Every turn it's got soul in it, so that again is another really good factor. But the main factor obviously is his counter ability, where he can pay 1 gauge to destroy an opponent's monster in the center. Now, as soon as your opponent announces his battle phase, what occurs here is an infinite loop of how both players can play counters. Now what I mean by this is that the timing step is repeated constantly until both players choose to not play any more counters for the start of the battle phase. So the turn player takes priority. So your opponent, if you're doing it in your opponent's turn, your opponents take priority and will basically be like, okay, I'm not going to cast a counter here. And then you Battle Soleil's ability. You pay gauge and destroy your opponent's monster in the center. And then they get to respond. And then that's it. That it fizzles out then, and then you do it again, and then they respond, and then fizzles, respond, fizzles, and then so on and so on, until you can't play anymore, and they decide not to play anymore. But yeah, it was basically your main anti-hate, really, and all in all, really good size free to tech in the deck. I also know people that did run the new Armor Deity from Cross Generations. Armor Deity Energy, his name is, where he's like pay 5 gauge and put 2 cards in its soul, and it nullifies all abilities during the attack phase. And yeah, that was also a card I was thinking of sideboard or maining even as the tech in this deck, but I could never really find the gauge for it apart from the Prisms matchup. And again, it was, if they got the Crystal Spikes out anyways, this card it was useless. So I thought Basilea just make sure against the Zodiac matchups and the Jaeger matchups. Anyways, we'll move on to the size 2s now. And we have 4 copies of Demon Lord Dragon Bat. So here we go. He is a size 2, 7/4. And his ability, call cost even, is pay 1 gauge, and his ability is during your turn, this card in your field cannot be destroyed. And at the beginning of your attack phase for this turn, this card gets double attack, and if you have 4 life or less, for this turn, this card gets power plus 3000 and triple attack instead. So this is the main card in the main size 2 really in the deck, and it's the main card that everyone fears, I'd say right now in the format, because he is stupidly good. Now, coming from a Danger World aspect, as if you guys don't know, I was a massive Danger World player, and I played Danger World for about 3 tournaments, and I top 8 them all. I always came in the top 8 when I played Danger World, so shoutouts to me there, really. But yeah, people thought like Ammonite Iblis was a stupid big card because it's a size 3 that you pay gauge for. He gets Soul Guard, and he also gets double attack. And it's the same scenario here, really, because he's a size 2 with 7,000 power that has double attack already, and it can't be destroyed. So it's already got limited ways of how you can counter it. So you've only got, like, I think it's 5 ways you can counter it. You can bounce it, you can rest it, you can either nullify the attack, reduce the attack, well, reduce the damage anyways if you're being dealt damage, or buff your monster's defense up more if you're attacking a monster, that is. So yeah, he is your main aggressive play, really, and is your main way to get your opponent down to 5 life, and to then cast the impact, which again we'll go on to later on in their profile. So I can just pop them cards up there. Next we run 2 of Anubats, Bearer of Sinbats. So this would be the secret pack one, and here is size 2, 7/4. And call cost, same as pay 1 gauge, and during your turn, this guy in your field cannot be destroyed. So again, similar to Demon Lord Dragon Bats, and at the beginning of your attack phase, if you have 4 life or less, call up to 1 size 1 or less Thunder Empire monster from your deck by paying its call cost and shuffle your deck. And automatically this card has double attack. So when this card was first announced, I gave this card a lot of hate, because I didn't particularly like the card, because I didn't understand, I guess, how good this card actually is, because you can call many things with this. The main cards, there's like 2 cards in this main deck that I want to call, and there's another card in the side deck that I'll come on to later, of course, that I really wanted to call with this card. Yeah, your base, if you have no feat, if you literally just have, say, like a weapon here and this bat's here, if you couldn't get his ability off, that means you get a free size 1 spot here, which is practically the exact same as triple attack from bats, and you can also get a skill popping off from a size 1. So potentially you could be getting more from this bat's here than what you could this triple attacking one instead. It depends what matchup though, obviously, and obviously I wouldn't say I was better. I'd just say Demon Lord Dragon Bats is probably a safer card to go for, apart from Zodiac. Demon Lord Dragon Bats isn't as good. It's probably the worst bats in that matchup. And just to give you guys all a heads up, this was the first set where we had Crossing Generations, which is a brand new set at the time, at a Buddy Fight event. So there's sort of vigorous playtesting to understand like what cards we should run, yada yada yada. So yeah, it's very difficult to actually make any decks. So the Prism Dragon decks and the Thunder Empire decks kind of struggle to decide what to build and what to side, yada yada yada. Anyways, going a bit off topic there, I just thought I'd let you guys know that. Anyways, the rest of the size 2s, we run 2 Unyielding Rampage Dragon Bats. And he's a size 2, 7 free fall this time. And call cost again is pay on gauge, and during your turn, this card on your field cannot be destroyed. So again, that factor can't be destroyed is a thing. And then when this card attacks and destroys your opponent's monster, restand this card. And if you have 4 life or less, this card's attack cannot be nullified if it is attacking alone. So this card clutched me so many games at Huddersfield because of the fact that it can't be nullified if you have 4 life or less, or even just because they didn't have a way to counter the destruction of one of their cards, or they couldn't nullify anything. So you just swing for 7k, 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 and then attack you for free. And it's a card that was feared a lot. It was basically forcing your opponent to play nullify here and now, otherwise, because if you didn't, then it would be the end of just you in general. So against Prism matchups, this card was very important, because as soon as you wipe out their field and as soon as you wipe out their gauge, that's it, they're done. They're not going to get another size 3 out. Well, a good size 3 out. The only other one you could get is the Redirector, and it just isn't good enough, really. So this card was very good and clutched me so many games in this matchup, in my matchups anyways. So yeah, that's all the size 2s done. So now we go on to the size 1s, and I've already gone over the Buddy, of course, Misfire and Demon Globes. We run 4 copies of it, and just brief recap. Really good for your consistency gauge. You can get free bats from it, really, because the gauge you pay for the bats, you gauge it back and then draw a new card. So there's that. And for aggressive reasons, you can get an extra crit on your bats, so an extra 2 damage can be made because of its double attack. So yeah, there's that done. 4 copies of Replenisher Penta. Just show this guy off for you. The size 1, 3/1 stats, and his ability: when his card enters the field, if you have a Thunder Empire item equipped, draw a card. So again, just like Globes, all about your consistency, going through your deck, making sure you can have your nullifies, make sure you can play an aggressive style, but also be, not worry about the possibilities that could happen, because you'll have your spells, you'll have your nullifiers anyways, so you should be all right. Anyway, this is the card I was referring to with the Bearer of Sinbats, where you can use his skill to then call Replenisher Penta, and then Penta skill, you draw another card. So essentially you're +1ing there, or +2ing, because you also call it from deck as well. I don't know. Anyways, it's just really decent card and really good for your consistency reasons. Now we also run last size 1s we run in the deck, 2 copies of Famed Warfare Deviser Fanning. So again, size 1, 2 3/1 stats. Call cost is pay 1 gauge, and during your turn, all Thunder Empire cards on your field cannot be rested nor returned to hand by your opponent's card effects. So when I was talking a moment ago about how there's only so many ways you can deal with bats because it can't be destroyed, yeah, this eliminates 2 of them factors, being bounce and rest, and they were probably the best ways to deal with these cards. And also with Unyielding Rampage Dragon bats being a thing, 4 life or less, if you had this field sitting pretty here, then the only way they can do something really is by say you're against Prism Dragons, for example, the only way they could get past it was by buffing the defense of the Prism Dragon, and if not, they were losing their entire field and getting hit by 3 damage here, another 3 damage here, and then weapon. So that's 8 damage that they just have to take, because they literally can't do anything to stop it. Obviously, this card is pointless against Prisms, but I'm just saying, like, this card you mainly use is mainly not sided in the main board because of Oni Assassins, Jaeger, Cav, Whirlpool, Summit. I don't know. I know they have a Arrestor anyways. I know Star Dragon World, mainly Jackknife, now has Extend Defender from the new set that rests monsters. And there's also Magic World in general that bounces cards, so that's a thing. The mirror match also have bouncers and resters, so that's quite important in that matchup. And at the very least, this card, at the very least, is a size 1 with free crit. So nothing, you can't really argue with that. And finally, the last monster we run in the deck, a size 0, Tiny Flame Dragon Linear. Stats is 2/2/1, and his ability, this card can only be called to center, and at the end of the battle of this card, return this card to your hand. So, only calling it to center, not a problem. It's the only place you want to go and call. You're mostly going to call it anyways, because you're going to have your bats on your left or right, your left here, your size 1 on the right, your weapon equipped, and then that just leaves you 0. And attack center, bounce it, and then you can attack you with your weapon. And the main reason why I really enjoy this card is it aids globes so much, because the reason why people didn't like globes was because they'd always seem to have this field out. They always seem to have a bats on the left and a globes on the right. And if your opponent has done, if you keep your field and your opponent has done an all-out attack on you, then you can't trigger globes ability again unless you retire this bats in order to call a new bat. So it was a bit of a waste. However, now, since Tiny Flame Dragon Linear is a thing, you can just call this guy instead, constantly, because, he keeps bouncing back, and his skill keeps popping off, gauging and drawing. And I think Corby said it in his video, where, like, the size 0 in a lot of the matchups, it clutched me a lot of games, and it really does something a lot to the opponent, and they couldn't never do anything about it, or they probably could have. I mean, I have no idea, but they probably didn't see it as much of a threat at the time, because it's a size 0. It's a size 0. So why would you think it'd be a massive threat? But yeah, it's a size 0 with 2 crit. That's absurd, to be honest. And it keeps bouncing. It's stupid. It's a really good card. And again, it's not restricted to just Thunder Empires. You can run it in any world. Yeah, and not any world, but any Dragon World variation. So you can run it in Thunder Knights as well. It's viable in Thunder Knights. But yeah, we'll move on to the spells now, though. And we run... I'll just go straight to the most broken card in the game right now, probably. And that's 4 copies of Basilisk Link. And Basilisk Link, there we go. So you may look at this card if your cards have attacked 3 times or more during your turn, and Link attacks only count as 1 attack. So it's very important to any beginners. There you go. Link, it even states in the card for you. Counter, look at 3 cards from the top of your deck and put 1 of them into your hand, the rest into your gauge, and gain 1 life. And this card, if you're familiar with card games in general, people will understand how broken this card is. You don't even need to know how to play Buddy Fight to understand how broken this card is, because you play card, you gain 2 gauge, a life that can potentially save you from Prism Dragon's impact, or something like that on the lines, and also you gain a card from it, and that card could vary from a shield, it could vary to the impact, it could vary to a card that you may need the following turn. It's stupid. It honestly is probably the most stupidest free card. What I mean free is that it's a free card basically, because its requirement is to get 3 attacks off in a turn. That's easy for this deck. It does it for breakfast. This deck, like, just look at you just look at this guy, okay? Just look at that guy. Look at his derpy little face, and say, try get 3 attacks off, and he'd be like, yeah, sure, okay, I'll get 1 attack off, easy, each and every turn. You look at bats, there's another 2, and then you look at size 1, there's another 1. Weapon, there's another 1. Stupid good. No reason why you shouldn't run it. I mean, question about how much you should run it, but I run it at 4 because it's too broken. Too broken. Anyways, we're going to shields now. Anyways, we run 4 copies of our Dragon Shield. And here we go. You may look at a card during attacking your opponent's turn, and if you do not have a monster in your center, and you have a Thunder Empire in your field, cost pay 1 gauge, and counter and nullify the attack and draw a card. So, from one broken card to another, basically. Very basic in what it does. However, it's a nullify, right? That draws you a card. So it stops an attack and draws a card. So when I was referring to how you need to keep consistency in this deck and keep your nullifiers in order to make the aggro plays. This does both in one. It's a defensive play, being the nullify, and it's skill to draw a card, which can potentially draw into another nullify. It's stupid. I mean, it can draw you into almost anything decent, though. It can draw you, or at the very least, it draws you into a card that you can ready to gauge as soon as you start your turn. Yeah, that's it. There's nothing else much to talk about that. Stupid, I know. Anyways, next shield, 4 copies of Blue Dragon Shield. So, there we go. You may only cast this card during attacking your opponent's turn. And if you do not have a monster in your center, counter, nullify attack, and put the card of your deck into your gauge. So, first and foremost, shout out to the nice golden promo foiliness of it. And, yeah, casual staple nullify in any Dragon World deck. Enough said. And it's probably your most important card in a lot of matchups, so because your only definite way of gaining gauge, really. I mean, you have globes that gains you gauge, but isn't consistent enough because the gauge you're getting from that is you still have to pay gauge to get that gauge. In many ways, through bats, you have Batis Link, but in the matchups like Zodiac, you can't because they won't allow you to get free attacks off because they'll just rest your cards. So getting Blue Dragon Shields and playing them, that's your only way of gauge. It's very important. And then we run 2 more shields in the deck, 2 copies of Green Dragon Shield. And similar to Blue Dragon Shield, you will cast this card during attacking your opponent's turn, and if you don't have a monster in your center, counter, nullify attack and you gain 1 life. I was trying to run 2 copies of Blade Dragon Shield instead. It didn't work though, because you need it. You need these cards really for the Prism matchup, because they just burn you damage, and just in general because they save lives at the end of the day. That extra 1 life you gain is really clutch. So moving on now to 2 more counter spells that we run in the deck. Dragon Spell, Hiding Bomber. So you may cast this card during your opponent's turn. Cast cost, pay 1 gauge. Counter, return a monster with 5,000 less defense to its owner's hand, or destroy it. So, Hiding Bomber is very good card because it is your counter to the mirror match. So, and by that you can bounce your opponent's bats, or you can destroy an opponent's card or something like that. So that's good. However, you could also use it as a defensive play during your opponent's turn. So if they attack a bat and you really desperately need that bat, so the main one being an unyielding bat. And you pay gauge and just bounce that bats back because you can. So yeah, very good card right now as well. No matter, everyone's looking at these cards, everyone's maining these cards, and then because they are really good, because they have a massive impact on the game. And then we run next card, which isn't a counter. We run 2 copies of Heaven and Sunshine. So cast cost, pay 1 life, and then destroy a monster in your opponent's turn. If you do, call up to 1 Dragon Lord or Guardian monster of the same size as that monster from the deck by paying its call cost, and then shuffle your deck afterwards, and you can only cast one once per turn. So the Heaven and Sunshine, a lot of people don't enjoy running, but I do. I think it's really good right now in the meta as well, because obviously Oni Assassins are everywhere, and it is really good in that matchup because you can pay a life, cast this card, you destroy their card, which is enough for the 1 life scenario, but you also get to call a size 2 from your deck because that's the main card you're going to be popping. And like this, it's made it viable for me to run techs of Linear, for example, and Battle Soleil, for example. Get that back in focus for a moment, because you can just destroy their size freeze in the Zodiac matchup, and then be like, okay, cool. So I also get this out as well. And yeah, it also pays 1 life so you can also get your life low enough so then your bat abilities can activate and all that. And then, so I'll move on to the last spell that we run out, and we run one copy of In the Name of the Thunder Empire. So spell, cast cost pay 2 life, and choose 2 Thunder Empire monsters from your drop zone and call them on separate areas by paying their call cost, and you only cast In the Name of the Thunder Empire once per turn. So I decided to run this at attack as well, just like Balsalade and Tiny Flame Dragon Linear, because I only really enjoyed this card late game, and when I tried running it at 2, and I'd always see one really early game, and it's quite pointless because I never have cards in drop, and I never want to take my life down so early. But I really enjoyed it at 1 though. I for some reason I saw it late game so many times in my matchups, and my opponent would try play it safe and just get me down to 5 life or 6 life, and I just cast this, get me down to 4 life. Okay, call this bat, call Pentar, draw a card as well. And it was really, I wouldn't say it was clutch, but it definitely made me make my plays a lot safer. So shout outs to In the Name of the Thunder Empire. Then we're going to move on to weapons now. We run 4 copies of Arc Dragon Sword, the main weapon in the deck. 6/2. Equip cost, pay 1 gauge, and this card on your field cannot be destroyed by opponent's card effects. So very similar to the bats is, and that's very important. And we also have all Thunder Empire monsters on your field get plus 2,000 power. Sorry. Needed in the Prism matchup, and also needed in the Oni Assassins matchup because, well, they can't destroy it, and Oni Assassins do a lot of destroying. So this is the main weapon you should always be going for. If you ever see this in starting hand, straight away try and pop it down. Next we run 2 copies of Arc Dragon Odachi. It's a 3/2 that requires you to pay gauge and pay 1 life to equip it. And when a monster on your field is attacking alone for this turn, this card gets power plus 3,000. Quick note on this card though, this stacks. So for every attack you're making, this card is getting plus 3,000. So if you double attack with bats, oh, bless me. Then that means this card becomes a 9k attack. So it can be a decent backup right now for our Dragon Sword, but And then when this card attacks and destroys your opponent's monster or deals damage to your opponent, puts that card of your deck into your gauge. So again, this is the other gauge card that you also run. It's quite nice first turn, just because really. You're paying a gauge. You basically paid a life to deal 2 damage to your opponent, because not many people nowadays block first turn attacks, so there's that. And we run 2 more weapons, so 8 in total. We run 2 copies of Dual Spark, so it's a 5/1, as you can see there. And equip cost is pay 1 gauge, pay 1 life, and this card cannot attack left or right, and has double attack. And again, and this card is very good with globes as well. Globes, because you can attack with globes and give the crit here to your weapon. So then you double attack him for 2, and it makes it a lot easier to get Bat's Link off as well. This card, because it requires you to just get 1 monster, any monster, and you can just attack with it. And it's won me, I think, 2 of the games surprisingly at Huddersfield, where I thought it wouldn't have done that much. I know it would have done something definitely to the Zodiac matchup. I mean, if you haven't guessed by now, I was quite scared of the Zodiac matchup, but I never faced a Zodiac, so that was quite sad. But it's kind of still good because you were double attacking, and I was able to globes and get this on 2 crit every time, so it's worth it. I really didn't enjoy. I definitely needed to run 8 weapons of some sort, because this deck really struggles if you don't have a weapon, unfortunately. There's that. And final card of the deck, 3 copies of Thunderlance X Tempest Buster Impact. So if you can get this in focus now. You only cast this card if your opponent life is 5 or less, your cards have attacked 3 times or more during the turn, and neither you or your opponent has a monster in the center. Cast cards is pay for gauge and deal 5 damage to your opponent, and this cannot be nullified and damage cannot be reduced. If your opponent's life would become 0 by this card, it cannot be changed by your opponent's cards. It's unreliable. So yeah, it's probably the most broken impact in the format right now, and the deck, I wouldn't say the deck revolves around it, but it's very good for killing your opponents off. And to be honest, I think I may use this card twice at Huddersfield. I didn't use it a lot at all, so yeah, it's obviously it's really good. It's really good, but I never seem to play it. So I'm just going to go a quick brief over the sideboard that I ran. I ran 3 copies of Support Warlock Yida, size 1, 1/2/1, and basic all Thunder Empires on your field get plus power plus 3000. And everyone really underestimated. No one really cited this card in. I was the only person that made note of this card, and other people were running Jaggy, which was a size 1 in the set that was 7k power, so that was hitting over a 4er. And I know Robert at the tournament was running the Thunder Knights Iron Chain Dragon thing, where you pay a gauge and reduces its defense by either -2 or -3 each and every time, and it's, you know, it's not once per turn, so you can keep doing it, and against that match you do gain a lot of gauge, so I did see the point in that. But I thought Yida again though was probably the best option out there, because this is making linear, for example, along with the good weapon, the one we run at 4 here, Art Dragon Sword. This can make linear a 7000 power size 0. So if the Prism matchup don't have Crystal Spikes equipped, or any of the spikes, for example, this can kill a 4er. And in one of my matchups, I got Pentar to kill a 4er, so that was always funny. We'll put them 3 there. 2 more Unyielding Rampage Dragon Bats in the sideboard, just in case I needed more decks just to plow through. We've already gone over that, so I'll leave that there. And then 2 copies of Drago Desperate. There we go. Cast pay gauge and you take a damage. Rest size to a less monster or an item on your opponent's field, mainly to side in against the mirror matches. Yep, that's basically it. And you know, you've got your jackknives as well and stuff like that. And then I side in 2 copies of Remove, which is pay 1 gauge and put up to 2 souls from a card in your field into the drop zone. And last card we run inside, Dragon Spell, another Dragon Spell Hiding Moment, which we've already gone through. Now, I know Colby also asked me to talk to you guys about my matchups that happened at Huddersfield. So against Kieran McNeil, and Kieran McNeil was actually the winner of the tournament, so shout out to him and everything like that. But in our matchup, I did beat him 2-0. The first game I won with some ease. Second game, the only way to describe it was I completely and utterly scrubbed it. Mainly because I was on 4 less. I had 4 life. I had 0 gauge. I only had Art Dragon Sword equipped, and I was basically, I admitted defeat at this point and I was ready to skip to game 3. But I drew my card for the turn. It was a globes. I charged the globes, draw into Pentar, called into Pentar, and then I also called into Unyielding Rampage Dragon Bats. Called that, entered my battle phase. He doesn't have Snake Gaze, so it doesn't rest my bats. And then my bats just goes for, clears his field, attacks him for 3. He goes down to 1. And then I think he has 1 nullified in this scenario. I can't remember exactly. I'm pretty sure he does though. And I attack him for 2 with a weapon, and I think he nullifies, and I attack for 2 for Pentar, and that's game. So I'm pretty sure I had to get that specific field out for that scenario to work. So it was horrible, but it is what happened. It's just what happened. And my second game was against Justice Form Jackknife. Very scary, very good player I was up against as well. Sorry if you're watching this, I forgot your name. But yeah, He won the first game because he got Aster out, and I couldn't destroy the Asters, and which means he was at the right life for Thunderlance X Tempest Buster, but I could play it because if you guys didn't know, Jackknife Aster, you can't deal damage. You can't deal damage to them. So there's that. But I came back. I won the second game and won the third game. So there was that. Third game was against Dan King, who is another Oni Assassins player. I literally just got Fanning out and got Bats out and was just killing it. The game. It was quite simple 2-0 victory. And again, he never saw Snake Gaze, so there's never a problem. Fourth game, the treacherous fourth game. Oh, the fourth game. Oh, this fourth game. Like Corby said in his video, I was against Corby in the fourth game, and it was horrible. It was absolutely horrible. It was terrible. Hated it. Nope, didn't want to play in it. And I was bricking it. I was really bricking it bad in the first game. I had to sit on Balsalave for the entirety of the game. I think it's like 4 turns in, I only got into a weapon that I could successfully play. Yeah, it was horrible. He's already mentioned about the 4SD misplay. As soon as that happened, the matchup went downhill very fast for him, because he never seems to get an Aphora out. So it was very bad that first game. Second game though, I got handed, and I just never seemed to not get anything that I didn't need. So there was that. It was really, I hated the game. Really do. I love you, man. Love you, Corby. But yeah, that was the worst game of my life, really. And I won still, and I still hated it. But yeah, fifth game was against Luke Leon, another Prism Dragon player, and that was a lot easier than Corby's game, really, in those games, because Luke ran the secret Aphora. Now the secret Aphora, I think Corby said in his video as well that he wanted to run the secret Aphora, and I don't see the goodness in secret Aphora in this format, because he doesn't do a lot. He really doesn't do anything, because counterattack is such a useless ability right now, because nothing can be destroyed by card effects. And it's what happened in this scenario where I could just it doesn't have double attack, so it only requires me to shield it once, and Bats can then just go just do an all-out attack next turn, the following turn, and all that. So it's very not happy. It's not. You're not happy for him, of course. I was very happy with that. Another 2-0 victory for me. And at this point, him in this is the 5th round now, and I think Luke, me, and just Melrose were the only people with X and O, and Melrose got a pair down because me and Luke were paired up, and Melrose lost his pair down, so that only left me in the last round being X and O. So I was pretty sure guaranteed the top of the Swiss. I was definitely guaranteed top 8. But I was thinking to myself, I'm pretty sure I'm guaranteed top of the Swiss now as well, because no one would go better record than me. And then last game, of course, I faced Melrose, and it was very awkward because I didn't know how to side against Jaeger. So that's what that matchup really was about, to test the waters and see what I can decide against it and what I can't. So first game I beat him, and then I attempted to side in 2 more unyielding Rampage Dragon Bats. Just didn't work for me at all, and I lost the other 2 games because of it, really. So I knew I should have kept Zibberra Bats in, so I could get my attacks off and be able to Bat 6 Link and keep my gauge and get nullifiers and all that. But it was only meant to be. It was Top Cup game round, and Corby top cut. I had to face him in the top 8 as well. That was probably the best game of my life because it was so fun. Everyone else is like proper serious, and we're just having a laugh, just playing our cards. Turns out I decided to God hand in both the games, and just win really. And then top 8, I'm just like, okay, as long as I don't face Jackknife, and there's one Jackknife, there's Ben Rimmer. As long as I don't face Jackknife, I'm okay. Because if I'm against Jackknife, then I'm screwed, because it's literally whoever goes second wins this game. That's how it works. And lo and behold, I was against Ben in the battle for in the top 4. So he won. He went second the first game, so he won. I went second the second game, so I won. And then the third game, I went second again, but I didn't see anything. I saw nothing at all. I got the O'Neill and Rampage Dragon back to my starting hand, which I stated before is quite terrible. And I literally didn't have anything that was useful to me at all. So I needed to somehow get 3 attacks off that turn because I had Basilisk Link in hand, and I just couldn't. And it was the downfall. I didn't have any Nullify, I didn't have any weapon, I had Fanning, and I also had Bats, and it was just terrible, and then it made me lose. So I bricked in the probably most important game as well, and then I faced Luke again in the 3rd, 4th place playoffs, and don't remember much of them. I just know there was a lot of Rizzlings involved, and there's a lot of trying to kill Rizzlings. And yeah, that was it. That's basically my story of Huddersfield. The Swiss curse got me, I am afraid. So, but yeah, all in all, it was a really great day. And sorry, this deck is just completely out of focus because of the glare and all that. But yeah, that's my deck list for Thunder Empires, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed, guys. Like I said before, leave a like down below. Sorry, this is gone way too long, but hopefully you've enjoyed. Hopefully you've understood a bit more of this deck, and hopefully I get to see you guys later.